The idea of a poor man. In the town of Olawu, there lived a man named Kola. He was known by everyone as the poor man. His clothes were plain, his hut was small, and he owned no farmland of his own. Some people pitied him, while others laughed quietly whenever he passed by. But Kola himself never complained. He woke up every morning with a smile and greeted everyone with cheerful words. His neighbors often asked him, "Kola, how can you be happy with so little?" He would reply with the same simple answer. A poor man with peace is richer than a king with worry. Kola worked as a helper in the market. He carried baskets for traders, fetched water for old women, and swept the stalls after the day's sales. Most times he was paid only with leftover food, but he always shared what little he had with children on the street. One day, as Kola was resting under a big mango tree, he overheard two rich men talking. They were complaining loudly. "My farm is too big, I cannot find enough workers," one said. "My money keeps me awake at night," the other groaned. Kola shook his head and thought to himself, even with all their riches, they do not sleep in peace. He smiled and picked up a fallen mango. "This fruit is enough for me today," he whispered. But life in Olawu was not easy. Many young people wanted to leave the town for the city, dreaming of gold and quick success. Some even called Kola foolish for staying. "What is the use of a man who has no riches?" they asked. Still, Kola kept on smiling. One evening, the town elders called a meeting at the square. The people gathered with worried faces. The river had dried halfway, the market was slow, and the farmlands were producing little food. Everyone argued about who was to blame. Then, from the back of the crowd, Kola raised his hand. At first, no one paid attention, but then the eldest elder said kindly, "Let the poor man speak." Kola stood up slowly and spoke with calmness. "Our problem is not the river, nor the soil. Our problem is that we have forgotten how to share. The farmer hides his yam, the trader hides her beans, and the baker hides his bread. But if we all give a little to one another, no one will go hungry. A village that shares is a village that never lacks." The crowd grew silent. The words of the poor man touched their hearts. They realized he was right. The very next day, things began to change. The farmer who had hidden yams brought some to the square and gave them freely. The baker baked bread for the children. The traders began to sell at fairer prices. Slowly, joy returned to the town of Olawu. People began to notice something new. Even though Kola owned nothing, his idea had brought plenty to everyone. The elders gathered once more and said, "We called him a poor man, but he is the richest among us. For what is wealth without wisdom?" From that day, Kola was no longer called the poor man. He was called the wise man of Olawu. And whenever visitors came to the town, they were told, "This is the place where a man with nothing gave us the greatest gift, an idea that saved us all." Moral of the story. True wealth is not in money, farms, or gold. True wealth is in wisdom, kindness, and the ability to bring peace to others. Even the poorest person can be the richest if their heart is rich with good ideas.